In my opinion, a good journalist should be like a police detective. You should never stop asking questions and looking for the answers to those questions, because humans can be very evil, and we live in a world that is getting more and more evil by the day. I recently took in a detective series where the detectives sat down at one point and told themselves, this is too easy. It is too neat. The evidence is there, conclusive. The DNA is there, conclusive. And it points to this suspect, who is a very unlikely suspect. And actually, this thing has not happened once. It has happened twice, 3 times. All the time, everything is so neat. There are no obstacles. It is too easy. And one of the lazy detectives responded, maybe the way a lot of our journalists today respond. The evidence is there. It's a watertight case. What is bothering you? Prosecute and let's move on. We are busy. But this other detective, who was a junior detective, decided no. His gut feeling told him there was something wrong. And in the end, he found out the truth. This was a setup. Now, in my first video on this channel concerning the Pandora papers, one comment said, there's something here terribly wrong. And they insisted. And then they went on to say that they were an expert in the field of finances, and transfer of funds. And they knew this subject intimately. And they concluded that there was something very wrong here. Something was not right. And I'm sure you know that I'm usually a very busy guy. I don't have time to go back and check things that have been concluded or appear to have been concluded. Things that are obvious. But something made me stop later and ask myself a few questions. And I told myself the following. Yes, the evidence is solid. Yes, this is conclusive. But then I took a closer look at the over 300 politicians globally affected. And then I really started asking the questions. Why are some people missing? Okay, I answered myself. This was not a complete leak. It was only a partial leak, some documents. And so, maybe so and so, whom we have evidence from elsewhere, also does the same thing. Maybe they were lucky. Their documents did not leak. And then I asked myself another more important question. What do most of these over 300 politicians have in common? And that one was not an easy one to answer. But finally, I got an answer. And it shocked me to my bones. It also led me in another direction where I got even more startling information. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the information is not correct. It is 101% correct. However, there's something more important. Yes, you heard me right. There's something more important than this information, than this revelation. You know, in the world of politics, people have information. Information that is kept to themselves. Information that is a closely guarded secret. And it remains a closely guarded secret until a certain politician wants to achieve certain objectives. And this particular politician knows how to release this information in such a way that very few people will be able to link that information being released to them. But in the end, it will greatly benefit them if they release this information. If you know what I'm talking about, you will agree with me. It happens very frequently, too frequently, in the world of politics. And as you may have guessed, these revelations, this information I got hold of, is highly sensitive. And it is contained in my latest weekly intelligence briefings. It's already in your inbox. This particular information also confirms a lot of other developments, recent developments, locally. It explains a lot. And in case you're not yet a weekly intelligence briefing subscriber, don't despair. It's very easy to instantly change your status and also get hold of all the back issues of my weekly intelligence briefings. You can take advantage of our latest special offer, which is ending. All you need to do is send a blank email to the email address you see on your screens right now, and you'll get an automated email response giving you full payment details. I highly recommend that you go for it. This is the biggest leak of information in the history of the world. Think about it for a minute. How many people around the world who were not mentioned, or who have not been mentioned yet, who can no longer sleep at night? They're worried. They're terrified. They are not only analyzing the possible impact of their secret information coming out, but they're already having nightmares that it has already happened. And then consider the consequences. There was the story of the Panama Papers some years back. Look at the impact it had, the consequences it had on so many people. And yet experts are telling us the Pandora Papers, in comparison to the Panama, there's no comparison. The Panama is nothing. In other words, we need to all brace ourselves for the full consequences when this whole matter fully unravels. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.